everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of Grace of Military Child and Life. Today I'm here with Jalyn, who is an Army brat. So, Jalyn, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, I think to mention too, because it is very notable, especially about your experience as you're a Gold Star child. So, so many things happen with that. But what was it like for you, growing up as a military child?
So for me, I would say it was the best experience, like living on base because it's such a tight-knit community. So we lived in a cul-de-sac. So we had a whole dance team. We would play wars with the versus different cul-de-sacs. Walking to school. We all walked to school in a group together. So at this time, I'm like 8 years old, walking to school,
It's such a
getting
fun
up.
time to do that, though.
Yes, like through the rain, sleet, and snow. Like we were in Washington
Yes.
State. Yeah. So we stayed at Fort Bragg. So yeah, it was really nice. But yeah. My mom was in the military as well. So
Oh, that's so cool. I never
yeah.
knew that.
Yeah, she got out when she had me, a little after she had me. So like we were moving then too, but most of my experience that I remember is from Fort Bragg in Washington State. So yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool. I
Mhm,
love we lived in a little circle, but
mhm,
we had a playground behind our house, so it was so nice because my sister and we were really the only kids, but we would run out the back door and run and play on the playground. And
mhm.
then the middle school was like right by our house. It was like half a mile away. So my mom and I would walk to school after we dropped my sister off at the bus stop, or if my dad was going out, he would drive me to school or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was really fun, especially like you said, that tight-knit community of everyone around you.
And see, like walking to school, it was two playgrounds on the way, like en route. So it was a couple times we got in trouble for stopping at the playground instead of, coming straight home, or sometimes we would, which is crazy to think, but we would wake up earlier in the morning, get ready for school, leave earlier so we can play at the playground before we went to school.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah,
See,
and they
now
call
that's not you sleep all you can.
yeah, yeah, no. So it was a lot of great memories.
Yeah, growing up around other military kids. And like, so I had the like reserve kind of component of it because we lived in Cleveland, Ohio. My dad's unit was 40 minutes away. He drove on the weekends and, the weeks he had to go. And then we like lived in just a civilian community and nobody understood military life. I always
Mhm.
used the example of when I came to school crying, say my dad, is gone for the month, or I'm such a daddy's girl that even just a week would tear me apart. So
Yeah,
like, saying he would be gone for, however long it was. And then all the kids would be like, why are you crying because your dad's gone? Like he's gone for the day. He'll be back at like 5 or 6, the normal work
yeah,
week. And it's like,
mhm,
no, no, this is different. He is at a
right.
schoolhouse right now. Like he is not coming home for a little while. And
Mhm.
so it's just having that like civilian kind of side of it and then the military side of it. It is so much of a different experience living on base. Even if you live outside of a base, I think
Yeah,
it's still so different, being inside of those gates.
no, yeah, I can definitely like. I think when I mean I wouldn't say only for deployment, but like anything that was going on with the people that we live close by, we will all rally together, and
Oh,
support each
yeah.
other. So I don't know what I would have done, like living off of base and having,
Yeah.
to explain to people or the kids like, oh yeah, my dad's gone, and like like you said, what are you talking about? He's gonna be home
Right.
by no, he's gone for a year or six
Yeah.
months. They don't understand that. So yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. Even like when my dad got hurt, it was like coming to school, having to explain that situation to my classmates and my friends because
Mhm.
it's foreign, it's not something that, if you live in Bragg or live in one of these big military towns where there's a base where you were experiencing injuries and casualties on a daily basis, you don't know. So when I come to school and I say, "Hey, no, my dad is an amputee. Barely has his other leg. Like, he's in a hospital. Like, I don't know when he's coming home. He's in Germany. Like, it's crazy going on." And they're like, "Oh, what? Like, how is this happening? You're moving to Texas? Like, when are you coming back?"
Yeah,
Like, never. I'm probably never coming back. Like, I don't know. So
yeah,
it's rough to explain those things. And it's
mm,
not like there's a handbook or anything, handed to military kids and
yeah.
families saying this is how to handle every situation.
No, yeah, it was hard. Because when my stepdad passed, it was my mom kind of like took us out of the situation fast.
Yep.
So like he died September 29th, and we moved to Mississippi and were enrolled in school in Mississippi like in October.
Yeah.
So we didn't really, well, I would say I didn't have the chance to, like, explain to kids at school because, my mom just wanted us to get like close to family quick.
Right.
So, yeah. But it was definitely a big transition, changing scenery, changing life. Like, just think coming from up north and
Right.
then down south, it was like simple things, just as like I remember when I first went to school, like I used to get teased because of my accent. Like they were like, "Oh, you think you're better than us," and like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like, oh, you're so proper," and I'm like, "I don't see that or whatever." But it was a big transition. But
Yeah.
I can really say, like, coming from living on base, being a military child, it definitely makes you resilient and you mature way faster. Like, and like you said, going into those civilian areas, you can say like, "Whoa, like I did not know that this is what people my age do." Like,
Yeah.
to see that, oh, maybe you have more, like, I wouldn't say responsibility. I was like, you just more mature, like you think
Yeah.
different. That
Absolutely.
so yeah.
I think we go through so much, even, I mean, we've both experienced, the traumatic side of the military,
Yeah.
but we experience just as a general military child, not even talking about trauma, but deployments, moving, so many different aspects of it that we just adapt to things. We become
Yeah.
resilient with any challenges that are faced. We're mature at a much faster rate. I walk into a college, and I am like the oddball out, like because, I'm more mature. And then you can like fun and to pick out the other military kids. You're like, oh, nope,
Yeah.
you stand out, like in a good way, not in a bad way, but you
Yeah.
can kind of pick them out.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just comes with it all. But
Yeah.
I feel like even though that it's been traumatic, a lot of good things have came from it, like
Right.
special operate SOWF.
Right.
Um, I am grateful for because like without them, I don't think I would be where I'm at. I
Right.
probably would have not went to Alabama. It's so
Yeah.
expensive. So
It's
just
ridiculous.
so like paying out of state. I
Right.
saw first tuition bill, like this was before my VA got certified, and I was like, whoa. So if I'm an out of state student, now we paying like 50,000 a year.
I know. Well, I was, from Florida looking to go to Alabama. That was like
Yeah,
my undergrad. That's where I was going. And I mean, before I knew scholarships were coming in, I was like 50 grand a year. Like,
yeah,
I can't do this. And then, yeah, no. I'm thankful for graduate school. You don't have to pay that out of out of state fee. And then, you know, with the VA, you don't pay out of state to begin with, but
Yeah.
everything. So it's definitely, you know, these traumas, you're like, there's so much to be grateful for from it, though.
No, yeah, like from scholarship family, just to like we were just talking about going to spook stop, just
Yeah,
being, connecting with other communities, like like No Greater Sacrifice and the CIA Foundation. Like I didn't even know that was like in existence.
right.
And even though we go through and have gone through different experiences, different traumas, it's like we connect instantly.
Yeah,
Like I tell my education advisor, Miss Lisa B, I'm like, these are the like fastest friends I ever, made just
right.
off of, similarities and from the past, from our parents or, just anything in general. Cause I'm not usually, well, I wouldn't say I'm not like an outgoing person, but I kind of like a person like I won't speak unless you speak to me kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
So like I'm kind of in the background or whatever, but I've learned to, come out of my shell. But like I said, also it's just like you can't, it's like irresistible. You can't do that in those situations. Like come in to be like, okay, so like what happened to your parent? Or like, just asking those
Yeah.
questions. Okay, like I relate to you on this level. So it's like very quick connections being made. So those are all the things that
I
have
think,
came out of all this.
yeah. And we're
Mhm.
not like afraid necessarily to ask what happened, you know,
Mhm.
in those events where we're all together, like Speak Stop,
Yeah,
like we know we've all been through some insane times in our lives, and we're not necessarily afraid to walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, how'd you get here? Like, why are you here? What happened to your mom or dad?" And
yeah.
I think, you know, I mean, even walking through the grocery store or somewhere like that with my dad out in public, like,
Mhm.
I mean, he's an amputee. Like you can see he doesn't wear pants and cover it up. Like, one,
Yeah.
that's difficult, and two, that's not him. And so
Yeah.
people stare and it's like they're afraid to ask and afraid to approach it, but we're like, oh no, like what happened to you? You know?
Yeah.
It's a lot easier for us to approach those conversations rather than
Yeah.
just stare, wonder. You know,
Yeah.
humans are curious. That's how it is.
Yeah, I think because we went through it so much that we know, and then like you can tell when I would say someone doesn't really want to share too much,
Right.
and you when to back off and not change the subject, around that situation. But oh yeah, definitely
Yeah.
out because like I met Nas during SOF, and she was just telling me her story. I'm like, oh my gosh,
I
like
know.
oh my gosh.
I know.
I love her so much. But
I do too.
I'm just like, oh my God, like these are real things that people go through. And you would
Yeah.
think, in that situation, I was like, how could I complain?
Right.
You know, but yeah, it's nice and it's interesting learning like other people's background and to see like what they have had to overcome and
Yeah.
what they're still overcoming because like like for example, me and Nas still talk about like finding scholarships, other scholarships,
Right.
to pay for our grad school, so it's just like that's something that we're overcoming right now,
Yeah, for
as
sure.
students, but I definitely wouldn't have it any other way. It's like
Yeah.
it's definitely the reason why I am who I am today. And, my dad definitely would be proud of me and my accomplishments and where I am today. So yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think so too. But like take us back to that day where you got the knock on the door because that's like the sound nobody ever wants to hear, you know, when you
Yeah.
have a loved one overseas. But what was it like for you? What do you remember of that day?
So that day, it was September 29th, 2009. I was 8 years old. Fun fact, it was a little after my birthday. My birthday is September 13th,
My
2001.
gosh.
Yeah. So a little after my birthday, that day we were actually me and my siblings. I think my older sister was maybe downstairs, but we were upstairs like getting ready for school. Just a normal morning. We're up, finna head out the door, and as we were coming down the stairs, they knocked on the door, and my mom was in the living room, and my mom was in the military, so she opened up the door and she saw like the three men in white, and she immediately closed the door, got on her knees, started crying, and told us to go back upstairs.
Yeah.
So at that point, I would say I didn't really know exactly what was going on, but I'm just like, what's going on? Like, we're supposed to be going like heading to school right now.
Right.
So, honestly, that's kind of like all I remember. And then like after that, it was just like everything was just so fast paced, like moving and
Yeah.
moving. But my mom, she did explain to us, what had happened and all of that. But no, yeah, that was a day that I will always remember. It never leaves your head. You can see it
Yeah.
just so vividly.
I know. I always say because we didn't, live by a military base or on a military base, we had a phone call that came through. And so I always, it's the same thing. Like, I will never forget where I was standing. I will never forget where my mom was standing, my sister was standing. Like, it's like a clear as day picture painted in my brain, like
Yeah,
ingrained in there forever. And I mean, honestly, I don't want to forget it, but
yeah,
it is a strong, strong memory that I think all of us, whether phone call, knock at the door, whatever the situation is, like I think that is a memory that stands out from all of the other memories, unfortunately, because it is such a tough memory to have, but
yeah.
it stands out. And I think looking back, it just shows a sign of strength, as a family, as an individual, as overcoming so much.
And I mean, like you said, it's something I don't want to forget because it's like the time that our lives change forever. So
Right.
after that, it's just like this was the beginning of change. So yeah, I think that was. Besides, I mean, after that, we kind of moved, and then we had a memorial, and then his funeral, and then my mom got him cremated. So his urn is currently at our house. So he's with us at home. But
Yeah.
also, he's from Natchez, Mississippi, and he has a highway dedicated to him. So
Oh, wow. That's
yeah.
so
So
special.
no, yeah, it's really nice. So I think he ran track as well. So like that was the route he ran,
Oh
you
my
know,
gosh.
in high school. So yeah.
Wow. That is so cool. I love seeing, how these men and women are honored even after they're gone, and seeing just the way that, obviously the family is carrying the legacy forward, but the way the rest of the community is carrying that legacy forward, because, I mean, honestly, that's what, they gave their lives for this country, for freedom, for so much. And I mean, that's the littlest thing that we can do to remember them.
Oh yeah. So well actually when he got killed in action, he was in the Philippines, and it was actually a mission for they were over there building a school for the children.
Wow.
And the Humvee had ran over a landmine that was placed, I guess, en route or somewhere in the ground.
Hmm.
And after that happened, they actually dedicated uh, the school. They named the school after him over there in the Philippines.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. So there's like a little piece of him,
yeah.
still over there.
No, yeah.
Wow. That is, that's so crazy to think about
No,
too.
yeah. Because I was like, that is so nice. Like I
Yeah.
seen a picture after it was done, and I was like, wow, like his memory will live on, you know.
Yeah. It wasn't even like an American soldier, right? In the Philippines helping to build a school. Like they had no, obligation to
Yeah,
honor him and name the school after him, but you know, they, I'm not going to necessarily speak for them, obviously, but
yeah,
their gratitude and support from it, clearly
yeah,
shows.
yeah, it's really nice. So yeah.
Yeah, fun times as military kids,
Yeah.
and that's the thing is we go through so many different things, the good, the bad, everything. And that just molds us to who we are, like you said, that we become these resilient, young adults now that are off accomplishing so many things. You're in grad school now and here we are just changing the world one one step at a time the way that we can.
No, yeah. And I am in grad school now, but this summer I will actually go back and be a mentor for SOWF
Oh,
for
that's awesome.
yeah, so the for the upcoming juniors, I think sophomores and juniors in high school. I think it could be seniors as well. They're getting ready to have their conference for college, get ready for college, and I'll be able to go back and give back to SOWF and help mentor those kids, which is really nice. It's like a full circle moment because I was
Yeah,
once in their shoes, going to these conferences in Tampa, getting ready for college or
right.
undergrad. And now I get to go back and serve these kids and serve as as give them good guidance
Right.
on, maybe how to navigate issues or just anything, give them any kind of advice I can. So yeah,
That's
like
the
you
best too.
said, no, yeah, like you said, like a lot of good things have came out, of this situation. So yeah.
Yeah. Being able to give back, you know, that's like no greater sacrifice. I do everything I can,
Hmm.
to support them, to support the current scholars, because, they've supported me so much. And I mean, they're not the only ones, so many
Yeah, yeah.
organizations. And
Hmm.
so everyone who's supported me, like I like to try and do what I can, to give back. Cause I've always been the one, like, I don't like when people just hand me things, like, I
Yeah.
I don't need it, like, I can work for it myself too, um, but, I mean, I always felt like I didn't do anything for it, I was like, "I'm just a child, like, my dad did it,"
Yeah.
but then you take a step back and think, and it's so great to know that these people honor the children too and respect the children and what they did. But then I always feel so guilty. And it's like finding a way to give back, but then it's also such a fulfilling feeling of,
No,
like you said, that full circle, that, you know, cup overflowing.
no, yeah, that's what I love to do, just in general. I like giving back in general. But
Yeah.
like you said, especially to the organizations that have helped me, supported me, not only financially, but emotionally as well through this whole process of school or just life in general. And,
Right.
right now I'm just, like you said, giving back as much as I can, however I can.
Yeah. And it's fun to connect with the other people and the ones coming behind you
Yeah.
or the ones who are right there with you. Because one, you're not alone then. Like at least I feel that way. And
Mhm.
then, you know, I love being able to be a mentor to other people and, give them encouragement and guidance when I knew I needed it and somebody was there to give it for me. And so it's so fun to just kind of fill those shoes and be somebody that, someone else can look up to or can turn to for advice.
No, yeah. And that's literally what I try to do with everyone. Like, it's five of us, and my younger sister, she's the baby. She's this is her senior year, so she's gonna graduate and go to college. And I was telling Miss Lisa that like literally this is what I've been doing with my sister, like mentoring her, guiding her
Yeah.
up, helping her make her right decisions for her when it comes to college and just everything. So when they did reach out to me, it was like, of course, why not?
This is a no-brainer.
Yeah, no, yeah, literally. So yeah, that's what I love to do. And it's something that I will continue to do, as I get older and into my career, I will always remember the people or the organizations that have helped me along the way and give back as much as I can. Lord.
Yeah. It's like you said earlier, and it's something that I like live my life thinking is I'm just here to give back to those who gave me so much and
Yeah,
literally made me who I am. And so I look at it as military community as a whole some days, but then you can go into all the little nuances of a specific person, a specific group, organization, everything. It's so special that so many people will step up for us, especially as kids. And
yeah,
then, it's a special feeling to give back and to meet the other people and then encourage them to give back too. Because I think
yeah.
it's such a full circle moment for everyone.
No, yeah, because like going to the like events such as Spook Stock, like you see, like you said, we go to different events and it's like, well, we're like really well respected. Like even though
Right.
we're the kids or young adults, it's like everyone is like, okay, what do you need? Like I'm here to help you. Like,
Right.
trying to help in any way they can. And it's like, wow, like you said, it makes you feel so special,
Yeah.
and it feels good to have that support. And like you said, it's not only in the military community, it's just like the organizations that are there as well. And it's like, oh my gosh, I feel so special.
I
And
know. And that's the best part. Like, I
yeah,
mean, it feels so good to feel appreciated like that. But then
yeah,
just the networking and community that we've
no,
been
yeah,
afforded is the best. Being able to meet some
yes,
incredible people from, business side of it all the way down to just other people like you and me.
yeah, literally, like and that's like one of the best things that, like I said, came out of it. It's just like you said, sometimes you can feel like you're alone,
Yeah.
but going to these things or, you know, uh, finding your community wherever you are, you'll see like, okay, I'm not alone. And there are other people out here like me.
Right.
And there are people out here that are willing to help, in any way they can. So yeah,
Right.
it's
It's like
nice.
the military flower is the dandelion. And
Yeah.
so, we all blow our separate ways, go everywhere. And
Mhm.
then, you know, we're rarely brought together. And
Yeah.
that's something like I want to figure out how to do more of is like events and bringing just people together
Mhm.
because like you said, you feel like you're alone. You go through these crazy circumstances and then as kids, we're kind of just dropped into adulthood, say, figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
uh, like I said earlier, there's no handbook. So you're kind of just dropped into life and
Yeah.
then figuring it out. And so having these people around you, having this community around you is just it's a breath of fresh air. It's relieving because you're not alone, even
Yeah.
though the next person might be like 5-10 hour drive from you. You are still not alone. There are other people going through the same things that you are going through and have gone through.
Yeah. And it's crazy that you say that. Me and Naz, we were also talking about, I don't know how, what, where, but we were talking about like creating like a nonprofit. Um,
Yes.
what would it entail? I don't know yet, but that is something that we've talked about for a while. And I'm glad you said that you're interested too. So you can
Yes. I've
chime
actually
in.
We can talk more about it too, but I've had ideas and stuff. And so
Mhm.
that's the biggest thing. And I have I have a logo for something like similar, but And so like I've had so many things, but it's so hard to start a nonprofit on your own. And
No,
that's the hardest thing. And I think, you know, so many people have so many ideas and just want to start something, but it's like, where do you start? And so once you find out where to start,
yeah,
it's the biggest, you know, there are so many people out there willing to support.
no, yeah. So that's kind of still on our brain. So definitely
Yeah.
can get together and, shoot each other ideas on what you want to do.
Yeah.
I have some ideas, but like you said, like it's hard to start nonprofits or just businesses in general, especially,
Right.
by yourself. This is something I haven't done yet, so, I would still be learning more about it. So
Yeah.
yeah, we should definitely
Yeah.
talk more about it.
We should. Well, the last thing I do want to ask you is what piece of advice would you give to another military child who has like gone through something that you've gone through, been in your shoes, or just like general advice?
General advice. Okay. This is something I tell a lot of people. I would say, please, please, please do not stress over things you can't control. And advice, I would say, we have all been through hard times. It's definitely not the end of the road. It's always a light at the end of the road.
Yeah.
And, you know, God did not put us in this situation for no reason. He did it for a reason. And,
Right.
you know, at the end of the day, when you do look back, you will see like, how good of a person you how good of a person you are now, you from the experiences you have had, whether from just any experience from the military or in the community. So yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Jalen, for being on the podcast and sharing your life as a military child and the joys that you've found from it, even though you've been through so much.
Thank you so much for having me.